motion of cheerleading. It's probably the most important one because it gets used the most. So the really, really big thing is that the high V's are not out here. The participant should be able to see their fists when they're looking straight forward out of the very corner of their eye. So like, let's see if here's a really great one. Her fists are like waved, or they're out in front of her, but it doesn't look like they're super out in front when you're like looking. It should never be out here. This is like really, really bad. And another one that I see a lot is high V's up here. It should be, they should have their shoulders relaxed, and it'll kind of naturally sit, but you don't want it to be up here. You don't want it to like frame the face, and you don't want it to be like down here because then it looks too much like a T. And the next part is fists. The fist should be like facing outward. You should see the, I call them donut holes. The donut holes, they shouldn't be like this. You shouldn't see like the inside of their fist, and you shouldn't see the top of their hands. And it should be a straight line up their arm. So it's a straight line here. You don't want broken, we call them broken wrists. They're either broken down or broken up. It should be a nice, pretty, straight line. And in all of cheerleading, there's two hand things that are like the really big ones. There's fists and then there's blades. Blades are awful because they're really, really hard to like make look clean, but if you can make them look clean, you're pretty cool. So when they're doing blades, you don't want fingers scoping up like that. You don't want ski slopes, and you don't want hands out like that. We call those Jesus hands. You don't want Jesus hands. You want a nice, pretty, pretty, pretty line. So that's the really big thing they look for is that pretty line. So we have our high V, and then after that we have a low V. It's the exact same thing as a high V. It's just instead of being up here, it's down here. Everyone show me a nice low V. There we go. So you want the same thing with fists. It's a little bit harder to clean the fists when you're in a low V because people tend to turn their arms in. So you have to have that chest out. It makes them look more confident when they have chest out, and then their motions will always look better if you have them hit with a nice chest out. So you want to be able to see their fists, and you want it to be that nice, pretty line. So we have high V, we have low V, and then T, which is the basis for your jumps, which is why this is a really important one. So it's just in between the high V and the low V. It's really hard for people to see whether their T's are looking level or not. So like right now, I can see a couple people. A lot of times you'll see people whose teeth are like up a little bit because they can't see themselves. So you have to get them used to hitting it like they need to be looking super straight forward when they're hitting their motions so that they see it out of the same part of their eyes every time. Because if you have them like not focus on their head, like if they're looking down, it's going to be like the top corner of their eyes that they're seeing their motion out of, and it'll be right. And then at competition, when they look up, they're going to bring their arms with them. So it's really important to have their heads laid straight forward and to teach it like you want them to compete it. So we have high V, low V, T. Half T or broken T is just they hit a T and bring their arms in. You want to see the opposite side of the fist this time. It's a super easy motion, but you want their chests to be out. You don't want like this motion, and you also don't want it like all the way out here. So they should be able to see their elbows out of the corner of their eyes this time. It's always the corner of your eyes that you're seeing motions out of. Next we have a touchdown, which is arms straight up and down. For this one, want to see fists facing in towards each other, and you want to see the opposite side of the hand again when they're up here, so you don't want this.